Hello and welcome back to my nature book review series. As you guys probably know, I'm a big fan of books on natural history. So over the next 3 videos, I'm going to be talking about 3 books that really impressed me when I read them last year. And to start off, I'm going to be talking about The Missing Lynx. The Missing Lynx is a 2019 publication by paleontologist Ross Barnett. Contrary to what you might be thinking from the title, this book actually sheds light on several large mammals that have become extinct in Britain over the last 30,000 years. Drawing from recent fossil discoveries and new technology, this book allows us to better understand these animals like our ancestors did before us. So books on natural history are really important in my opinion, and I always go into them with a lot of goodwill. I think people are only going to care about saving wildlife if they're interested in wildlife in the first place, if they know really cool things about the natural world. And certainly I think if more people knew about species that we've lost, the more they're going to want to protect species that we have left. So books like The Missing Lynx are really needed in my opinion. As far as I'm aware, this is Ross Barnett's only work. And with extinction being the main theme, I was interested to know what sort of tone that Barnett would go down. Thankfully though, this book is a bag of fun and I would definitely recommend it. So the book really focuses on 13 species and most are given their own chapters. So these range from animals that are extinct globally, like the woolly mammoth, the woolly rhino, aurochs. Also animals that are extinct in the UK but exist elsewhere, things like the wolf and the lynx. And there's also a chapter on the beaver, which was extinct in the UK for a few centuries and now thankfully it's being reintroduced back into some counties. So as I was reading this book, I really got the sense that Barnett is having the time of his life writing this book. I have the feeling that this is a project that he had at the back of his mind for quite a while. And his interest for these species and his curiosity for them really radiate through the pages. And to offset the sort of bleak reality that is extinction, he's packed it with humour and lots of references to pop culture. And I really did enjoy all the chapters, even though some of their structures do vary somewhat. So on chapters that focused on species that exist elsewhere on Earth but are extinct in Britain, those chapters naturally focused on those populations that exist elsewhere. So chapters on the hyena, the lynx, etc., they really focus on other populations that currently exist because the ecology of those species in Britain were probably similar. They probably lived very similar to the populations that exist elsewhere today. In terms of the animals that are extinct globally, like the woolly mammoth and the woolly rhino, the main information that we can get from them are from their bones. So from their bones we can determine how big they got, where and where they lived, and interestingly what they ate, because you are what you eat at the end of the day. So from analysing the stable isotopes of bones, we can now tell what these species ate, even though modern scientists never actually observed that for themselves. A lot of the chapters as well focus on their social structure, their interactions with humans, and for some, how they became extinct. Another thing I really liked about this book were its maps and images. In each chapter there's a map of Britain with the locations of the sites where these species have been found, and he does talk a fair bit about the history of their discoveries by paleontologists and fossil hunters through time. So for me, the maps really help me know exactly where these sites are. There are also some really good quality pictures in the insert of various things from skeletons to art to human artifacts. It is unfortunate, however, that there's a lot on these animals that we still don't know, especially on their behaviours. So on species like the one on the saber-toothed cat, I found that those chapters tend to drift more towards phylogeny and genetics. And whereas those are quite interesting topics, you can tell that there isn't really that much we know about how these animals lived, and that is a shame. The only part of the book that I disliked was probably the beginning of the chapter of the mammoth, which started with 2 pages of a fictional hunt, which I thought was a bit too gory and bloody for a book that was otherwise really fun to read through. I don't think it really served much of a purpose. I also think that the chapter on the bison could have done with a few more pages. The way that that chapter is set up, you think that it's going to be ultimately talking about how this species was saved from the brink. That doesn't really happen. So I would have just liked a few more pages on that chapter. Other than those 2 parts though, I can't complain for the most part. The ending of this book really did surprise me. It focuses on de-extinction, which is resurrecting animals back from extinction, and with the passion that Barnett really shows through these pages, I really thought that he would be in favour of bringing these species back. So I was really surprised that he's actually against de-extinction as a concept, at least for now. And you can definitely see why he thinks that. Not only if we bring animals back from extinction, those animals won't exactly behave as their ancestors did, but also there's a good moral argument that extinct animals should serve as lessons to humanity that we can ultimately cause the destruction of an entire species. And I think that those species that are extinct should stand as pillars to man's hubris, really, and lessons that we should really protect what we have left. So I did see myself agreeing with Barnett's side of the argument at the end of the day, even though the extinction has tempted me to both sides of the fence over the years. So yeah, I would recommend this book. You can certainly buy it for under about 12 quid, maybe even a tenner on some websites. And if you've read it already, do let me know what you think in the comments. On the next video, I'm going to be talking about Tim Flannery's Europe. So I look forward to seeing you there. Until next time, so long for now.